$900 million is weighing very heavily on Gemini and those who have their funds locked away in Gemini's Earn program. We're also going to talk about the Bitcoin that MicroStrategy has sold and bought very recently in the past couple months. If you guys are enjoying these updates, please hit the like button, hit subscribe. We're putting out videos every single day. If you want to know what we're doing with our cryptocurrencies and why, you have to check out the CT Club. A link for that is down below in the video description. We give you access to our trade alerts, portfolio updates, market updates, a lot of info there. So we have to talk about first MicroStrategy. It's natural to get excited when other people are buying Bitcoin. And for those of you who need a little bit more confirmation that you're on the right path, big players that are buying Bitcoin can often offer that. But MicroStrategy, there's like FUD floating around that MicroStrategy had dumped over 700 Bitcoin. Not to mention the real reason why MicroStrategy probably sold over 700 Bitcoin is because they were harvesting their losses for tax benefits, guys. It's the end of the year. It's December 29th. And I mean, they did this earlier in December, but still, this is what companies do. This is what people do, especially in crypto. It's much easier to sell your crypto to claim a loss and then buy back pretty quickly afterward to maintain your still have your same position. So definitely, I think that's what was happening with this selling the Bitcoin situation. They sold it and then they bought back a whole bunch more, like 2,500 Bitcoin. So now they're sitting at over $4 billion worth of Bitcoin with an average buy-in price of about $30,000 per coin. And so a lot of people get excited when MicroStrategy is buying. Oh, he's super bullish. Yeah, it's great. But then you have to think of the other side of it. For example, custodian of all of the Mt. Gox Bitcoin that is just waiting to hit the market, or at least have the option to hit the market. That is always a source of FUD for those who are holding Bitcoin, or for anyone who isn't into Bitcoin. It's sell pressure, potential sell pressure from one central entity. And MicroStrategy is setting itself to be even way larger than the Mt. Gox funds. He could be contending with, he's a long ways away from the million Bitcoin that Satoshi has, but it's all the same concept of a centralized figure holding a very large supply compared to if it were to be distributed among the masses. So it's great when we see people buying, but you can't get too excited over a centralized entity having too much control over the supply. We should be celebrating when MicroStrategy is selling their Bitcoin, because they are distributing that supply to more people to learn how Bitcoin works. Now, some legitimate facts of what's happening with Gemini. I talked about this one several times. Again, $900 million of their user funds were being, they're using the custodial tools offered by Genesis. Do you remember Genesis? The lending platform for institutional investors under the umbrella group of Digital Currency Group with Grayscale, Gemini, and Genesis. They're all on the same page. Now, Gemini recently, had all their users basically have to agree to a new MLA, which is a master loan agreement, saying that you are basically signing away your right to sue them or to form a class action lawsuit. This new MLA is requiring you to agree to legally binding arbitration. So you have to settle it one-on-one. You can't do a class action lawsuit. And I think that's because they see the writing on the wall of this money still being locked away on Genesis. If Genesis has to declare bankruptcy, how is that going to affect these people who had funds on Gemini in their Earn program? Again, $900 million. I know that pales in comparison to what Sam Bankman-Fried did. That's still a huge chunk of money, and a lot of people are going to be affected by it. There's now rumors coming out that there's actually class action lawsuits coming out. I'm not sure that signing this MLA is actually any kind of legal binding agreement, because there are protections legally against people who have funds on custodial platforms, believe it or not. Again, this whole year is like a crash course of all of us understanding the legality of these user agreements, terms of agreements, bankruptcy proceedings, what have you. So we're going to find out What happens with Gemini if there are class action lawsuits coming out against it? Will that force their hand to demand something from Genesis? Will Gemini have to declare bankruptcy? This could be an incident that will cause fractures between Gemini, Genesis, Digital Currency Group, and actually force a hand of Genesis to declare bankruptcy or not. So this particular situation is evolving slowly. There is not a lot being leaked whatsoever. Again, we're just keeping you guys as up to date on this Genesis situation as best as we can. And so that's what we're working with now. This new development with Gemini, keeping an eye out on it. If you guys haven't got the hint yet, you got to get your coins off of exchanges and into wallets you control. If you want a tutorial on how to do this with wallets like Trezor or Ledger, we have links down below in the video description just for you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.